What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Hawk, GreenRoom97. We're doing a special episode today with DJ Ol Skool, and we have a legend in the building, boxer, trainer, and now Ohio Boxing Hall of Famer, Vonzell Johnson. Well, on the 31st, I digress. And next to him, of course, the soundtrack to the streets, DJ Ol Skool. Let's go. How's everybody doing today?
Great.
All right, so Mr. Vonzell, May 31st, you're being inducted into the Ohio Boxing Hall of Fame. When you got that call, what went through your mind?
Well, I didn't expect that from who called me, who the guy's putting it on, Nate Tubbs. But I was proud to be honored that way, and it was a good feeling. It was a great feeling to be recognized.
Yes, sir. So let's kind of rewind. Let's rewind a little bit. Take us back to the first time you stepped into the ring. Who was that young Vonzell back then?
Well, actually, I was 13 years old, and I was going to Beatty Recreation Center. And I got into a fight with my best friend. We ended up being best friends, Charles Mitchell. And the boxing coach came out, and he said, if y'all want to fight, y'all come in the gym and put on some gloves. So, the first thing came out of my mouth, I ain't putting on no gloves, man. If you want to fight me, we can fight. And he said, well, if y'all don't want to do it that way, then leave the playground and don't come back. So I said, I thought about it, and I said, well, still, I don't like to fight with gloves. And then my friend, Cool Mitchell, said, you scared? I said, let's go. And that was the beginning of that. We went in and we put on the gloves, and I beat his little butt. And we became best friends after that.
Nice. So you've been in wars inside the ring, and now you're training the next generation. What made you shift into coaching?
Well, after my career, after I fought, my last two fights was in 1981 with Matthew Saad Muhammad for the championship, and Michael Spinks for the championship in the same year. That was unheard of for somebody to get two title fights in the same year and that close. But, I was with different management. I was with Angelo Dundee, and being with Angelo Dundee made all the difference. And he got me those two title fights. Didn't win them. I got to the mountaintop. I didn't quite get over, but I was there.
Yes, sir. OG, you got anything you want to?
He's doing a pretty good job. He's telling the story. If you've been here and you've been in Columbus long enough, everybody knew Mr. Williams. And that was a community. We may not knew each other, but we knew from walking down Mount Vernon and them streets and having Bottle of Arms back in the day in Maryland Park. Them was the good old days. The days, it's totally confusing to me, man. We had fun, didn't we?
Oh, we did. We had lots of fun.
Facts. Okay, so you're in the corner of some rising stars. So let's talk about Lynell Walton and the being number two ranked going into Vegas for USA Boxing. What does that moment mean to you and for the city?
Well, I can speak for me. It means the world to me, because I started Lynell out when he was like 8 years old, and then he missed a few years. Then he came back, and when he came back, when we got back together, he got really serious about his craft, and he knew that if he put in the work, he'd get the rewards. and he put in the work. And he's making a great example for some of my other fighters that's in my program. You know, a lot of them is doing the same thing now, and if they continue, I should have probably one of the greatest boxing teams in the city ever had. If they continue to put in the work.
Show that role model.
Yeah.
It always helps.
I use Lynell for that because
Yes,
he put it in, and he gets rewards.
So then what's your role in developing these fighters, not just physically, but also mentally?
I've been doing it for 40 years with recreation and parks. And I've seen generations. You know, I had started generations, and then I ended up coaching their sons, and then the next generation I started coaching their sons, and that's how it's been going.
It's in the blood.
And so, you know, I try to continue to keep them on the straight and narrow. There's certain rules we have, and they know that if they break those rules, they can't box with me. And so they don't break those rules, and they stay in the gym. So, you know, because I'm trying to develop young men, you know, productive young men, you know, and not just boxers, fighters. So it's been working some. I've lost a few that that's to prison and death. But the majority of the kids that I've dealt with are doing well. Even if they're not boxing, they're doing well.
So you've helped mold champions out of LP Douglas Rec Center, which is Lula Pearl Douglas on Windsor. So what does that place mean to you personally?
Well, I started at Barrick Rec Center in 1986. And I left Barrick and went to Thompson Recreation Center. And I started building my momentum, started building at Thompson Rec Center. And then they built Lula Pearl Douglas Rec Center, named it after Buster Douglas's mom. And after they built it, the director over there was Dale McCampbell. And me and Dale have always been good friends. So Dale said, "Von, can't nobody do this over here but you. So come and take a look at it." So I went over and took a look at it, and I seen them 2 big rings in there and all those new bags, and I said, yeah.
Right at home.
Yeah,
huh?
right at home. This seemed right at home
is
to me. So he said, "Can nobody else do it?" I said, "Okay." So I left Thompson in early 90s, I think it was, and been over to LP Douglas ever since.
So you've been heavily involved in the Ohio State Fair boxing events as well. Why is it important for young fighters to compete there?
Well, it's history. It's Columbus history at the fairgrounds. A guy named Bill Cummings used to run it, and he ran it well. And used to be a national championship at the Ohio State Fair. Back in the day, it used to be a national championship. You get ranked back when I was fighting. If you fought in the fair, won. It's coming back now. It dropped off for a while, but now it's coming back. It's getting a little better every year now. So it's very important because it's part of history. It's part of Columbus boxing history.
Yes, sir. You got anything you want to throw in there?
Yeah. I had a thing about the kids today. They all play these team sports, and it takes a group of people to play together. But what do you think about, and how do you think it helps a kid to be an individual sport when you don't have nobody to lay back, blame, and do this and there? Is that one of the reasons boxing is slowed down, because the kids don't want that mental toughness?
I don't think primarily that's the reason it slowed down. I think the primary reason that boxing is slowed down, they don't have the heroes like the Muhammad Ali.
They don't even know who the champ is.
Joe Frazier. And it's unheard of in this day and age for you not to know, because everybody back in my day, you knew who the heavyweight. If you didn't know nothing else, you knew who the heavyweight champion was.
Might not know the president,
but you would know who the heavyweight champion.
Heavyweight champion was.
And we don't do that now. I mean, it's not like right now, just like he said. People don't even know who the heavyweight champion is, you know, and I'm ashamed to say I don't either.
I wasn't going to admit it since you admit. I'll go ahead, but I feel the same way. I don't know.
I've been in boxing all my life, and I couldn't tell you right now. Somebody told me they give me $1,000 to tell them who the heavyweight champion was. I would say I don't know. I'd probably guess.
Is he black or white?
I don't know. I don't know.
Nobody knows. Or African.
So it's a whole different kind of thing now.
Yeah, man.
In boxing, but you know, it's my passion, so I deal with it.
So a lot of people talk legacy, but you're living yours right now. What do you want these young boxers to say about Coach Vonzell when they tell their story?
Well, I hear a lot of stories from my old fighters now that's bringing their kids to me that if it wasn't for me, you know, they could be in jail, or if it wasn't for me, they could be dead. And that's what keeps me going.
That's the reward.
That's what keeps me going.
Clubs don't understand it.
I hear those things from parents, and you know, so that makes me know that what I've been doing and still doing is not in vain. It's helping. And that's that's my whole purpose, is trying to help the youth to get their mindset in a different way of not killing each other, robbing, stealing cars, and all that crazy stuff. To get in the gym and any gym, you know, and have some kind of positive thing going for themselves.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So boxing teaches discipline, pain, and resilience. What's the biggest life lesson you try to pass down to your fighters?
Well, first thing, like I said, I got rules. And one of the biggest rules I have is respect. You have to respect, you know, one thing about me is I respect everybody. There's not nobody on earth that I don't respect, unless they do some foul things. But I respect everybody. The reason I do that is because I demand mine. So I cannot demand my respect if I didn't respect everyone. So respect is one of the main goals, and this is one of the things, this is one of the rules that I teach all my fighters, that they have to show that respect at home and throughout their lives, throughout their whatever they're doing in life, school, whatever. They have to have respect for the next person if they want respect for themselves. And that helps. That carries a long ways.
Yes, sir. So looking at 2025 and beyond, what's next for Vonzell Johnson?
Well, if I can stay healthy, I would probably continue. You know, I retired from the Metropolitan Library a few years ago, and but I continued the boxing. You know, because boxing is not a job for me; it's a passion. So I can see me keep trying. I got some kids now that's really trying to do something in life. So keep trying to keep these guys and anybody that I run into on the right path, you know, because I know the wrong path. You know, I grew up here in Columbus, and I wasn't always a saint, you know, and you know, I've changed my life over the years tremendously, and I just want to help the next person, the next child, the next adult, everybody that I run into. I want to make sure that they have an opportunity to do the same.
Yes, sir.
I know you're over at Windsor. Last time I was over, you had so many kids in there. I didn't know if there's any room for any more kids over, but are you still recruiting, or does it cost the kids? How do they go about?
It's always, yes.
So you got a room over there?
Like I've always said, you know.
It was full.
Yeah. But I've always said, you know, I won't turn no kid down. I won't turn no person down. You know, I'll make room. You know, I'll make room. I got other guys that I have trained to train.
Yes.
So we're doing that, and we don't turn nobody down. Anybody that comes to my gym, they're with me. They're at my gym, and I don't turn nobody away.
If you could speak to the younger version of yourself before the fights, before the training, before the Hall of Fame, what would you say to him?
I would say that young Vonzell, I'm glad you turned into old Vonzell.
I know both of them. We're not going to talk about both of them. We're going to have fun today. I just got to add a little humor. That's all.
Because old Vonzell's a lot wiser and have more compassion for life and people. Young Vonzell had to learn that, you know, and he learned it, and we're gonna let young Vonzell stay where he at.
We'll leave him right where
he's at. Leave him right where he at.
But you got to keep him in heart, because you know there's a lot of love in that young Vonzell.
Yeah.
He went through wars and battles.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of love.
Most of it I'm gonna put over here in the shelf and let it stay, lock it up. And I'm gonna deal with this guy that I'm dealing with now, because I like him better. People like him better.
I don't know. I like both of you. I gotta go back and tell the stories.
Yeah. I had a lot of stories, but that's old Vonzell. This is a new Vonzell. This one I want people to remember as being somebody that tried to help people, be a role model, show them the right way to go, show them how if you do the right things, good things will happen for you. That's right. The guy I want to be for.
There you go. Couldn't have been said better.
So from the ring to the rec to the Hall of Fame, Coach Vonzell, Columbus is proud of you, and DJ Ol Skool, we appreciate you for always keeping the energy alive as always. It's your boy Hawk, GreenRoom97, and I believe that would be a wrap.